Going to do a video on putting in the new ticklers in your Amal carburetors. I did show a bit last video there and how to take this out, but I'll do a whole video here on removing the old tickler and installing the new tickler and then flaring it out. So what I start with is just pinching this as tight as I can get it. Try to get as round as possible. Just with some pliers. If you get it round enough, it should just fall right out, but last time I had to take my Dremel to it. Yeah, I'm just going to take the Dremel to that a little bit. It's got a little burr on the one side. No. A little more on the one side there. There we go. Just fell right out. Here's the spring. The rest of it must have just evaporated. Okay, I'll get the new kit and put the new kit in. Show you. Okay. Got the Amal ticklers, the new style today. No, I didn't. Oh my god, this phone is done. I gotta go get a phone. Is that even gonna work? No. I need a phone. February phone. Okay, I couldn't finish the video because my phone completely fell apart and I had to get a new phone. So there, got my new iPhone, 32 megabytes, iPhone 6s. They got a real good video camera in it. It's what I had before. I had the 6, but I just dropped it too many times. I got a good case on it this time, so hopefully it works a little better. So now I can make some videos and get back at this. Okay, finally got the kits, the tickler kits. And there was no instructions with it, so I put one in this carb already, and I learned the proper way how to do it, which I think is proper. So you first start with this little pressed-in bushing that comes with the kit. These kits, I bought 2 kits on eBay for $11, and that's including shipping, $11 US. Well, this bushing's tapered at one end here. This end's tapered, and you'll also see a little hole drilled in here. And I'm going to try to line up this hole with the hole that's already in the carb right there. You might think that you press this in so those two holes line up, but no. That hole there is for lubricating the shaft, the pin in there, and we're going to block that pinhole, so they put another one. So I'm going to try to line it up like that with that hole. But first I'm going to heat this carburetor up with my heat gun, and it makes it a little bit easier for going in there. So let me just heat this up a little bit. Shoot, I want to take the slide out. Yeah, one sec here. This is going to be easier with these screws out. I'm just going to take the slide out and the screws out. So I got a flat surface to work with. I should have done that before I started the video. Yeah, my video should be a lot clearer now too. My other camera was really screwed up, and now I can download it on my computer. Before I was using the Wi-Fi, so you get a real grainy image. So hopefully my videos are going to be a lot clearer and a lot better now. And so I'm just going to heat this carb body up so that pin fits in a little better. And then just tap it in there. That's going to work there. And this side's got the taper to it. So let me line up that hole there. Let me just do something here. Let me take out these screws. Take out these screws. So I got the O-rings on them. I don't want to damage them. I guess this is best to put in if you got the carburetor completely apart. Come on. Dummy me, I should have had these out first. Okay, now I can heat it up pretty good. Next thing you know, my battery will go dead on this phone. Okay, let's get this warmed up. That heat gun works quick. Okay, let's put this in. Just kind of want to line up that oiler hole. Oh, this one's going to be tighter. Give it a tap with my hammer here. I am going to ding it up a little bit, getting it in there. It's a tight fit. I measured it beforehand. It goes in 7 millimeters, and I put a little mark on the side in here on the other one to press it in, but that's in all the way right now. But now I've squished the hole, tapping that sucker in there. That sucker's tight. I've squished that hole, so you need a 9/64 drill bit to ream that hole out again. There. Just to make sure the pin slides through there nice and easily now. So yeah, it's hard to press that in there. I don't know any other way. maybe a screw in a bolt, but I put a lot of heat on there. It's hot. Okay, so we're going to put the pin in, the split pin in, the spring in, and then it's also pressed into the cap. Take that off. I mushroomed that bushing a little bit, so I'm just going to sand that little mushroom off there. I'm not perfect. Screwed it up a little bit. Just a little bit of a burr on it. Just want to make sure that fits nice and loose. Alright. Put the pin in. Put the spring on. Put the cap on. And now we got to press that cap on. I got a big old flat chunk of steel here that was my grandfather's. And it's handy. Just give us a little tap. And that's it. That's pressed on there. That should do it. So it's not as simple as it looks to install that. That's it. Okay, got the one carb back together, so I'll just show you I did this carb here. First, start with the float and the new needle cutters. Make sure my hands are pretty clean here. And what I'm going to do first is coat the float bowl gasket. I'm going to coat the side that faces the carb body, not the float bowl. So then when I take it off the next time, that the gasket will come off with the float bowl. It's easier to get it off on here than it is to try to scrape it off of the carb body. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this synthetic grease again. And so yeah, that goes like that. So I'll grease this side here. Just put a little dab of grease on this side. Doesn't matter if you get some on the other side, just won't stick. Okay, so that's ready to go. Put the new needle or float needle in there. And I guess when you push this float down like this, it should sit about level with the float bowl. I'll try to hold it like this so you can see. If it's not, then you can raise and lower the needle seat. Heat it up, press it in and out a little bit if you gotta get it level. But that plastic's molded; it sits pretty level there. Okay. Put the gasket on here. Put the float bottom on like that. Two of these screws are good, two of them are junk. Oh. I'm going to coat these screws too with a little bit of this grease. Because it seems like you're always having a hard time getting these things out, and then that's how you get the heads all stripped on them. Put a little bit of this silicone grease on the threads. Make it a little easier. Now I already checked my float bowls for to see if they're nice and square on a piece of glass. A lot of them get over tightened on these screws, and then they warp the bowl, and then you gotta use some lapping compound on some glass to get the bowls squared up again. But these are in pretty good shape, these ones. Just gonna snug that up, and then put the just going to put this all in roughly for now until I get on the bike with the cables. That drops down there. Line the notch up there. My bike has the choke slide cutout in it, and I see a lot of people don't use that. They just take this choke cable off and the choke out and throw it away. Just use the bleeder and the thing. But I'm going to hook up the choke cable to it. And this is the spring for the choke cable. And this is the like a little bushing that fits inside the spring to keep it straight. But I'll have to put this in later. So okay, we got the choke slide in, the slide in, the spring in, and this goes this way. The one side of the top cover's got a hole on the side. That goes for the choke that way. And I'm just going to put these screws in loose for now. It's got to come apart again. When I put the cables in, so I'll just leave those loose. Put the fuel inlet banjo bolt in for now. Just leave that kind of loose. And that's it. That carb's all cleaned up, ready to go. I could put the needles back in again. Well, that goes in the other one. This is the needles. This is the idle mixture screw. It goes in, you put it in all the way, bottom it out. Bottom this screw out, and then back it out a turn and a half for starters. And you don't crank that in there, you just till it just touches. Half, one, 1.5. This one's the idle, just the idle speed. And the slide, so I'm just going to turn that in until it touches the slide. There, it's just starting to move the slide now a little bit, so I'll just leave it there. And let's put these gaskets and everything in this box here. We're done for the day.